friends, welcome back to Lost Without a Plan. If you're new here, welcome. Today we are doing a roundup of all the books I've read in quarter one and creating a quarter one book tracker using my Canon IVY. So let's get started. Okay, so today we're doing something a little bit different. This video is part of a YouTube video collab created by Creatively Lisa Marie, and it is focused on a theme of books. So I have this gorgeous piece of deco here from The Right Place Plans called Books and Florals. She actually has a ton of Bookish deco over on her site, but I was excited to use this one. I also grabbed some Moxie Life washi tape in a couple of colors from their lineup. I have my Canon IVY 2 printer here. This is like the second time I've used it, so we will be doing something new by trying to print out my book covers, and I am going to start with printing out the pictures. So let's see how it goes. I have the IVY 2 photo printer app on my Android. They also have it for iPhones, I believe. I think I have already created like a template with my Photoshop, and I just put 9 books on a setup. I just evenly spaced them and made sure that they were all the same height, and I put all the books that I have read. I have like 4 sheets to put through. I have been reading like a crazy person this quarter, so I'm super excited about sharing what I've read with you. I am powering up my machine and I am going to print. I generally keep track of my books over on GoodReads. Recently, someone told me to go over to StoryGraph because they have different options on ways to keep track of your reading, and then there's also some sort of daily tracker that people like to gamify their reading. I personally don't pay any attention to that, so I probably could have just stuck with GoodReads, but I do want to continue to try it out. I think it's like a more basic app over there, but it's fine. There's another one that I've been hearing about too that puts it into a calendar view so that you can see when you read which books, but I think it's just a little extra fluff when I just want to know what I want to read and when I'm going to read it, and I think GoodReads just settles that for me. But also I wanted a printed version this time. I wanted to have it in paper form because I keep all of my quarterly goals together and I look over them at the end of the year, and I wanted to see my reading log in a visual format inside my Moxie Life companion notebooks. So that is what I have here. I'm using these A5 sheets. Oh, it looks like it just hit 100. It should start printing now, I think. I've only done a print one more time, and it was on these little circle stickers that I have on top of my IVY printer with my logo, just kind of a test print to make sure that it worked. And are you going to do something? Oh, it's changing colors. There's something fun going on. The paper that I'm using is the A5 filler paper from Moxie Life, so it matches all of the things I already have in that notebook. And I just pulled a couple of blank A5s with the dot grid, and okay, here it comes. Oh, the colors are really rich. I was surprised that this one doesn't take ink. I'm not really sure how it prints, but it's cool because the colors are right. They're very vibrant and rich. It does look like it's cutting off on either side, so I think I'm gonna have to figure out how to change it for the next one so that it pulls in, so you can see the H from Heartland is there on my image, but it's not there on the print. So it's fine. I'm going to keep this one because I don't really want to waste any paper, but I think I'm going to like figure out how to pull it in for the next few prints. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I will show you some clips, but I'm not going to take you through the whole thing because that took a long time. So here's how I'm going to squish down the picture. I have just like a teeny tiny little white border around all 4 sides, and I'm going to hit the print button again, and when that is ready I will show you how it looks. Okay, that little white border did a big amount of difference here. I can see all of the cover from start to finish. I have already started cutting them out while that one was printing. I'm just going to print the other few. I'm going to start laying it in. Okay, I have all my little covers here, and I am going to start with, I think I'm going to do like a header page, and I'm going to just lay out some of this Moxie washi so I can add some bursts of color on the page behind. Kind of like how that looks. And then I'm going to just put these, yes, I like that. And then I'm going to do one pink and one green up here too. Perfect. And I'm going to add some of these florals. That's pretty. And now I'm just going to grab my Moxie markers. I think that the one for self-care works for this one. I have the Moxie highlighter and the Moxie dot markers, so there's just a whole bunch of different ways that it shows up. So I'm going to write in Q1, and then I'm going to handwrite reading log. And my handwriting is by no means calligraphy. But I can fake it. I have a desire to learn how to do calligraphy. I just don't have the time, hands-free time to do it at this moment in my life. But I'm going to use this little dot marker to add a little flare up here. That is cute. Okay, now on to page 2. I'm going to lay in a backdrop again. I surprised myself. I had only set a goal to read 100 books this year, and that breaks down to be about 6 books a month. And in January I read 11 books, I believe, and then so I totally surpassed my goal in the month of January, and then I continued on in February and I read even more, and I just keep going. A couple of my tricks, as I said, I don't have very much hands-free time, but when I do, there's usually a book in my hands. But I also do use Audible books, audio books, not from Audible, the apps. I do have an Audible subscription, but I don't use it all that much. I actually use the free apps from the library. I am with the Los Angeles Library, and at this library they use both Hoopla Digital and Libby, and a lot of the audiobooks that I tend to learn more when I'm hearing something. It's one of the learning issues that I had when I was young, and so hearing the book, if it's like a nonfiction or even a fiction book, makes it a lot easier for me to take in the information. I have dyslexia, so it's the words on the page get a little confusing for me. But I fully believe that taking in books via Audible is the same. So if you cannot find time to hold a book in your hand, it might be fun for you to try an Audible book. I told my mom that I had started doing this around the end of last year, and she decided to take in some audiobooks this season, and she's already on her 6th book of the year. And I'm very proud of her because she hasn't read a book in a very long time. So audiobooks are the like passageway between not reading at all and reading some things. So definitely take what you can and leave what you do not enjoy. But I mean, I definitely enjoy a paper book more, but I love to have stories told to me, and some of the readers are really awesome. That 12-week yearbook that you can see on this page, not a good reader. No, I think it was read by the author. He's not very good at waylaying his information. I had done the book by Audible the first year that I read it, and then I tried it again this year in paperback form. It was not my favorite. It's still not my favorite. I don't know. I think it's kind of antiquated and just not my favorite. But I did have some really fun books this month. I read, as you can see, I read the trilogy of the Fellowship of the Ring. I also read The Hobbit at the end of last year, so that kind of spawned me finishing the series in the month of January. It's such a good book. It's way better than the movies, 100% better. And then Cassandra in Reverse, it was a book club book that I read, and it was really great. It was about someone who thinks a little bit differently and how they learned to change time and what they decided to do with their gift, and how it changed their lives. So it was a really interesting story. My absolute favorite book of the month of January was The Keeper of Lost Things. And this book was about a man who lost his wife, but he found things and he wanted to tell the stories so that they weren't lost. And he wrote like a little journal entry about each thing. And when he passed, he left a person that had taken care of him for years and years and years the items that need to be found. And she and a couple of friends that she met along the way are work together to get the lost things back into the hands of the people who lost them. And it's really a sweet story. I really, really enjoyed it. It's definitely my first 5-star book of the year 2024. If you haven't read it, I definitely recommend it. I read it for a book club. I think it was the Kristen Kremer book club, and she's also a YouTuber for planning content. But I was very surprised by it. I really enjoyed that book. I'm going to write in here that I loved learning the backstory about hobbits and hearing the tales that were left behind in the movies, because there was so much more to the story. Like, did you know that Frodo went back and fought to take back the Shire when he ended the movie? I did not know that, but it was like that in the book. So if you want to hear all the hidden tales, definitely read the book or even listen to it. The books are told in a great point of view, and I really enjoyed the narrators of the books as well. So the reason why I put this as my first 5-star book were the conversations that happened, the backstories of all of the lost things, and I just loved every bit of this. So I'm going to put that I loved every bit. I know this is a quality review, but I promise if you go to my GoodReads, you can read my full review on all of these books. I'm just putting my highlights on here. The last book that I want to have an honorable mention was Fourth Wing. It's kind of a story about underdogs, family secrets, loss, and entanglements with dragons. And the dragons really made this book amazing. So if you are interested in any sort of that, it's like a fantasy adventure, I guess, would be what I would call it. But that one was a 4-star book. I'm just going to use my little, I had purchased stickers with the little stars on them for this, but I can't find them. I don't know what I did with them, so we're just writing them in. It's fine. Okay, so after laying in a few more of these books for the month of February, I wanted to tell you that the Pineapple Street book was not good, so I would not recommend it. I only gave it 2 stars. And also Wellness, although it has a lot of really good reviews, it was so long-winded. It was just a lot of words that were not necessary to say the same thing. So I gave it 3 stars. It was good storyline, but it probably could have been said a lot crisper. So I started reading A Killer Plot by Ellery Adams, and I decided to make this my next series because her writing style is mystery, and it's kind of like it flows really easily. And this series here has like eight or 9 books, but I had a goal to read a series, which obviously I already did, but I read one of them last month, like the month before, of the 4-part series, so I can't count that as a full series. I'm getting technical, I know, but so I decided to do this one as my next series because it's like a very light and easy read, but it has like those twists and turns that you can't see coming. And I like that about a mystery novelist. So, my second 5-star book of the year was Nora Roberts' Inheritance. Now, this is a brand new series that she started. It's part of the Lost Bride series, but it's edition 1. I'm thinking that I think that they said that there will be 2 more books in the series, but this one dropped at the end of last year, I think. And I had added it to my list, and I just really enjoyed it. It has really great character building. The backstory is really interesting. The house is so strange and unusual and quirky. It was just an outstanding book. It was another mystery book. I tend to lean towards mysteries and historical fiction when I choose things, but this one was really a good book. And I really can't wait till the next one comes out. I think it's supposed to come out in November. I hope. And then the second one with an honorable mention here was Kristen Hanna's The Women. I think her name is Kristen Hanna. It might be Kristen Hanna. But this one tells a couple of women who volunteer to be nurses on the front lines of the Vietnam War, and the way that their family treats them when they go to war, and how it's not the same hero's welcome when they return from war. And it was just a really interesting peek into the story behind the scenes of the women who did so much for the war and didn't get very many thanks. And then I'm just going to add in all the rest of my little stars here. On this page, I decided to put them by their store quality. So the first page I did by the order that I read them, and this one I just put all the 4 stars together, my 5-star together, and then all the 3s, and then the 3 and the 2 at the, and I only gave that one 4 stars, but it was really good. It was really interesting. I'm just going to finish putting in these stars here, and then I'll start over on March. Now, March is not over yet. It is just begun, obviously, because this video goes live on the 13th. But I've already read 7 or 8 books by the time this happened. So I ended up printing up the rest of the books that are in the series that I just started, because they are very quick reads. So I think I might finish all of them by the end of the year. Oh, I forgot about Brave Not Perfect. That was a book club read, and I read that one in February. And I think that these are all for March. Yes. Okay, so I'm just going to lay in the books and the ratings so far. I haven't had any 5-star books yet this month, but I'm not sure which ones I'm going to want to write about. So I'm just going to leave some spaces here and there. This one was Fever in the Heartland. It was about the Ku Klux Klan. That one infuriated me. If you want to know more about it, go ahead and check out my review over on GoodReads. Then we read The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. That was a really interesting book. I liked it a lot. These are from the Bayside Book Club book writers. You think I'd know what it was called by now, because I've read so many of them, but I know that it's the Bayside series, so that might be all I can remember right now. It's written way too small on the covers here, so I can't read what it says right now, but that's okay. And then the next book, I did read this book here called Keep It Shut. It was like a nonfiction book. And then for my book club read that I just started, this is The Adventures of Amina Sarifa. I apologize if I said that name wrong, but so far it's gotten a lot of really good other book club readers, so I'm excited to get into it a little bit further. I'm only about 1 chapter in at the moment. I put it on this line down here, but I'm going to leave space so that I can write about it whenever I'm done. And then this is the series that I was telling you about. I've completed 4 of them. There are 3 more, and I have those books up top. I'm not sure how that page is going to end up, but that is all the books that I have so far for March. I am going going to stick some more of this deco in here and there now that I have an idea of how it looks. I really like how these stickers came out. Very cute. This one might not fit here. I probably should have put a smaller one here. I'm just going to cut this little edge off. Okay, I think that might be it. I'm going to add a little bit more washi here and there. I'm just going to fill this little space here with some washi and add some over here at the top, since I left a little more space than was needed. It still looks cute even though it's a little crooked. And yes, I think I'm ready to pop this onto my planner. I'm just going to grab my Moxie Life companion notebook. Thank you so much for planning with me today. As part of the YouTube collaboration video, I invite you to continue the loop by watching the next video from Emily over at Growing Modestly, and I will have her linked in the description box below. And then if you make it through all of the links in the loop, you should end up back here on my channel, and that'll tell you that you finished the loop. Feel free to hit like and subscribe as you go through the loop to any creators that resonate with you. And if you found me from the loop, I would love for you to stick around and join me as I continue my planning journey. I do share planning videos a couple times a week over here, and I would love for you to join our group of friends. So also leave me a message so that I can connect with you. I would love to hear what you thought about any of these books, if you've read any of these books here. Also, let me know if any of them are your least favorite. I hope that I'm not alone in thinking that Pineapple Street was kind of weird, but thank you again for planning with me today, and I will catch you next time. Bye for now.